Welcome back to London Beautiful. I'm today with the Royal Geographical Society for Food for Thought World Premiere. How did you guys thought of the idea and get it all out as it is?
That's a great question. It started with an element of the film is following people who took on a vegan challenge for 30 days and send us video diaries, essentially making the film for us. And we started with that idea, and everything else kind of built from that. So, and they still form a backbone of the film. It's amazing what they've done. So yeah, it's wonderful.
So what were all the contributors like? Did they have days where they were up and down? Because I think if you asked me to do it for 30 days, I don't know how cranky. I've got a personal trainer right now and he hates me half the time.
Right. No, I think what was really interesting is when we were getting the videos through, you could see people who were, slightly going, I'm not sure, there's this problem, this issue, but actually by the end, they were all totally going, this is the world I want to live in. And it was really nice, actually, that journey. But yeah, you're right. Of course, there was people that on the journey was always going to be, it's never easy, but
and we kept that in, right? Because it's important to be honest about it and to show the reality of it. So we've got that part of the journey in there so that it's relatable to the people who do take it on themselves. They're not going to be thinking, well, hang on a second, it was all sunshine and roses for everybody else. It's real, so that's what's so valuable about our vegan participants, and it's just, I think, one of the strongest elements of the film, really.
So with vegan documentaries, you can get really shocking ones, which does sometimes turn people off. What can we expect from Food for Thought?
The opposite. We didn't want people to say, oh, they don't want to watch this because there's any graphic content. We wanted to make a documentary that people could actually really enjoy and pass on to their friends and say, this is a film that is okay, there's no graphic content, and actually it's a fun ride at the same time.
Well, we literally talk about it in the film. Some of the film is Giles and I talking about the film and the journey that it's taken us on. And that's a big part of it, is we have a conversation around that kind of footage, but without giving anything away, there is a twist. You don't see any shocking footage, I promise you that. You don't hear any either, but there is a twist.
What was it like participating in this?
You know what, to begin with, it was kind of hard because I was plant-based and I was eating a bit of meat, and then suddenly it felt like going cold turkey because I couldn't have any, meat or dairy products, so it was really difficult, and you had to watch the labels and everything, and that was really and I really got spiked every now and again, so panic attack, because I got really nervous because I didn't have enough energy, so I had to really source the energy source of how I was going to get food into me, the right kind of food that was going to maintain me all the way through the day, because I got long days, really a lot going on, so I needed the energy,
So within those 30 days, what would you say was the biggest dip, where you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore?
I think for me, it's when I had meetings back to back. And then I was outside because it's difficult to get the right kind of food. So, getting the right kind of diet in you is really difficult, especially if you're vegan, and if you don't, you really suffer dips. And that's why I was saying I was had these spikes because I was dipping and I needed to keep my energy up. So, but otherwise, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. More that it was challenging just to be strict with it, chocolate, cheese, all those foods, right? So you had to look for different alternatives, and that was really difficult because, I was thinking, oh my God, and vegan cheese isn't the best, and chocolate is, rich dark chocolate, and that's a required taste. So, do you know what I mean? And I'm used to just to go to Twix or Marathon, and all those were out the window. So it was so it was tough, but worth it. I remained a vegan for such a long time, so I'm glad I did it. It was a challenge.
Are you still a vegan, would you say, right now?
I recently broke it, if I'm honest, because I was in Scotland, Pitlochry, and you just couldn't get the diet. You couldn't get the diet. It's beautiful there, but really remote, and you just couldn't be a vegan there.
When you were doing it as well, were there times you accidentally ate maybe like a piece of chocolate and then didn't even realise, oh wow?
No, I stuck to it. Yeah, I stuck to it, yeah.
Did you get bad mood swings? I've got a personal trainer right now and I swear he hates me. I keep asking him and he's like, no I don't, but I'm very can I do this? Can I eat this?
Yeah. Mood swings? No, I don't get mood swings anyway. Now, luckily, I didn't dip. I thought I would. I mean, there's one moment when I'm like, frustrated, and I had lots of smoothies for energies and greens and stuff like that. So I was kind of aware of a good plant-based diet before I went vegan. Vegan for me was a lot of sugar, and that was difficult. I cut out sugar, and I was downing it, and it just wasn't good. Yeah, because everything, because like vegan is, I think it's replaced with a lot of sugar. Plant-based is really good for you, and so I kind of gone back to more plant-based diet, which is really good. But you've got to be careful with that as well. I think it's all really difficult, but it's for the right cause, and I'm in it.
Well, internally as well, did you notice any difference, like clearer skin or?
I think my skin was clearer, and then also I'm just thinking there wasn't really, for me, the marked difference was energy level and focus, because when I had a craving, I needed to get food in me, and you can just pop in the shop and get something. I couldn't. So the mood swings, I didn't really have much. I'm kind of hyper anyway. So luckily I didn't. Yeah. So you know what it's like, isn't it? If you're hyper, you very rarely suffer mood swings. If anything, that's why I said spike, because my energy went up rather than down. Do you know what I mean? So a spike and then crash. Do you know what I mean?
With the animal charities you have worked with, what have they been like?
Oh, fantastic. Well, the Born Free Foundation, everybody in the world knows about them. And then Animals Asia, which rescues the bears that have been taken out of the wild and milked for their bile, which is absolutely repulsive, but that's nearly finished because of a great deal of hard work. Daphne Sheldrick's Elephant Orphanage, I've got 3 adopted elephants in Africa.
Have you met the elephant?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, who could not fall in love with an elephant? But what's terrifying now is that almost every day something is on the road to extinction. And practically every species is endangered now. And what would the world be without animals? I'm lucky because I've been, more or less all over the world, and I've seen animals in their natural habitat, and they are just glorious.
What was the one animal you've seen in the natural habitat that you just... Oh, an elephant.
Yes, elephants are my passion, and close second, dolphins. But all animals.
Have you actually seen any venomous snakes?
Any venomous snakes? Yeah. Yes.
Have you? What was that like?
I have. I'm not scared of snakes. I'm much more scared of scorpions and things like that, creepy crawlies. But no, I'm not scared of snakes at all.
And then lastly, because I don't want to keep you too long, what have you got coming up for the rest of the year?
I've got a movie starting in February, although I haven't signed on the dotted line yet, but it's looking promising. And then a couple of really exciting projects, audiovisual.
Are you excited about today?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a while. I know Giles quite well, and he's been talking about this film for a long time, so delighted.
What do you reckon we're going to get out from today?
Well, I think people with an interest in this, in veganism generally, will probably be very pleased with what they see. But I think I'm always hoping to find some people who really miss the point. And I think there's quite a lot of that.
Are you a vegan yourself?
I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. But some seafood does slip by. And not when I'm with Giles. But I haven't eaten meat since 1986.
Is that a hard transition into doing that?
Not really. I was quite involved with animal aid and anti-vivisection organisations, and then I read some quite powerful literature about farming practices, and so it was really on moral grounds, and now it's on moral and health grounds and climate change grounds. So I can see no reason not to encourage as many people as possible, even if you can't go full vegan.
What's it like, kind of like partnering up with an animal charity?
Well, I did one or two small things for them, a voiceover for a video, that sort of thing. But I'm always impressed by people who dedicate so much time, to something that's evidently good.
I'm not a vegan or vegetarian myself, but I have, especially seeing the trailer for this and having those people experimenting it for 30 days, it did make me think, could I do this? But for those who want to give up meat, what advice would you say is the best advice to do so?
Well, it doesn't mean there's going to be a space on your plate. People think they're going to lose something, but you're going to gain a lot. You're going to find some new and simple recipes. You're going to find more flavour, more colour, and you're going to feel better.
What do you reckon we're going to expect from tonight, from the Food for Thought?
I think we're hopefully going to discover new things and maybe new shocking facts that we kind of need to be reminded of.
Obviously, you're a vegan yourself, so for people that want to be a vegan, what advice would you give them?
I would say it's easier than you think it is. Do a challenge, do like Veganuary, or just do 2 weeks and you'll see how easy it is. And there's so many great vegan restaurants now, so yeah, there's no reason not to give it a go.
So with this film, I heard it's quite a very positive light on veganism, but obviously at the moment there seems to be a bit of a spread of a lot of social media influencers who are very passionate about being vegan, but they're executing it the wrong way. So it's giving a very big divide. What advice would you, as a vegan yourself and popular on social media, what advice would you do to sway people to become a vegan, but in a positive way?
I think it can be seen in a negative light because people can be so passionate. But I think we've all got to remember that we're doing it for other living beings that have families like us, that feel the way we feel, that love like us. So yeah, it's not ever about us, it's about the bigger picture and about doing something good. And yeah.
Have you been a vegan all your life?
No, I've been vegan for 12 years, but I was vegetarian growing up. So it's always been supernatural for me, and growing up I always had an option. There was always a meat option in my household or a veggie option, which is really lucky. So for me it never made sense to choose the meat option when I had the other option.
There seems to be like a massive divide nowadays because I think of certain social media influencers have been very passionate but sometimes executing it the wrong way. But what would you say for vegans who want to make an impact, but what was the best, most positive way of doing that?
Well, I think that's a really important question, especially nowadays, and I think that also strikes at the heart what this film is about, is that making change doesn't have one avenue, and there's so many ways that you can get involved, be that small, be that sharing a petition, be that having leaflets to hand out, or supporting campaigning organisations and leading by example. It doesn't take one type of vegan, it doesn't take one type of activist, but what it does take is unity and cooperation, and I think it's really important to lead with education and solutions, which is, like I say, we're really passionate about that at Animal Aid. We really try and meet people where they're at and take them on a journey with us.
Are you a vegan yourself?
I am, yes.
So what would you, for those who aren't a vegan, what advice would you give them?
So just look into it, first of all. Like, so many people just haven't even heard the word, they don't know what it entails. So arm yourself with the facts of the realities of these industries, the benefits that it can have for animals and your health, and then just give it a go. I think it's often the idea that's more daunting, and in practice it's a few swaps for us that makes a massive change for the lives of animals.
And also for Food for Thought, what do you reckon what do you reckon we're going to get out from today?
Well, I think exactly that. I think everyone, be you already vegan, vegan curious, or coming with a vegan friend, I'm really hoping that it's going to leave people with a sense of positivity in seeing the amount of change we've made so far, but also how much there is still to go, and hopefully just arm people with a bit of positive fuel for the next years in campaigning.
Are you excited about today?
I'm super excited. Two things. The first thing is it's great to have a film that deals with a difficult subject in a way that everyone can access. So no one is going to go in there and come out screaming because it's so, full of schlock and awe. But the other thing is that this is, as I put on my social media about this, I don't care if you're an omnivore, a pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, fruitarian. Everyone should see this film, because you need to be on the journey. And as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, try going vegetarian 1 day a week, and then maybe you'll try 2 days a week. And if Arnold Schwarzenegger can say that, I'm going to follow what the boss says.
The Terminator, in fact.
Right. No, it is really, and it's really important. An important time because these issues are being discussed at the highest levels around the world. And unfortunately, what we're seeing in some circles is a retreat from the really critical agenda that we need to embrace, which is we need to have a much more sort of compassionate, understanding and sustainable farming system providing the food on our plates in a way that we can feel good about.
Are you a vegetarian or vegan yourself?
I am a vegetarian coming up 42 years. I'm vegan most of the time. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'll want to be one of those people tonight who watches the film and goes, yeah, you know what, time to move to the next level.
What advice would you give to people that might be interested in being a vegetarian or vegan, and how would they go about it?
I would treat it as a really positive thing. It's not like, don't make it a negative decision, like I'm giving up things I love. Instead, say, I'm embracing a whole new range of opportunities, of dietary opportunities, of different foods that I've never tasted before, different combinations, and we've never been so fortunate as we are now. You go into any supermarket, from the most expensive to the least expensive, and you'll find an entire aisle devoted to vegetarian and vegan food. Try it, and make yourself feel good.